What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the UFO Insider podcast. I am your host, Karan, and in today's podcast, we're going to discuss many interesting topics, including many famous UFO sightings. We're going to review some of the articles on the most famous UFO sightings around the world, and then we're going to place our thoughts about the same. And also, I know that it's been over half an year since I made a podcast, but I'm back and I'm gonna make some regular podcasts and videos for you guys. So stay tuned for that, and let's begin with the first encounter. Okay, and today our motive is to just look at some of the most famous UFO sightings which took place in history and find out some interesting details about them. Okay, so here are some of the most interesting UFO sightings. So the first UFO sighting you probably know about is definitely Kenneth Arnold UFO sighting. So I have an article opened up here on my phone which I'm going to read for you. That it says that on June 24, 1947, private pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed that he saw a string of 9 shiny unidentified flying objects flying past Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is a place, okay? And Arnold estimated the UFO was flying at a minimum speed of 1,932 km per hour. His sighting was the first post-World War II sighting in the United States that garnered massive news coverage. It is credited with being of the first of the modern era UFO sightings. Arnold's descriptions of the objects also led to the media quickly coining the terms flying saucer and flying disc as a popular descriptive terms for UFOs. Well, this sighting is quite famous, guys, that because this sighting took place in 1947, and I know that after 2 years of the World War II, this sighting took place when the Cold War was going on. So many people speculated that this could be related to Army, Air Force, their vehicles, but it was confirmed that there was no training exercises, nothing in that area where the Arnold Kenneth UFO sighting took place. And he claimed about 9 shiny unidentified flying objects. Of course, we cannot confirm that, but it is really nice to look at some UFO sightings like this. I'm just going to explain some of the most famous UFO sightings in a brief, info type video, a podcast. So this was the first Kenneth Arnold UFO sighting. Okay, now going to the second, and this I think probably the most famous UFO sighting in history. Maybe I'm not sure, but let's take a look. So the second one is the Roswell incident of July 8, 1947. This also took place in 1947, but it's on July 8. So Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release stating that they had discovered a flying disc from a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. The Army quickly reversed the statement and said that the debris that was found was actually from a weather balloon. So here you can see they declined the statement about a flying disc, and instead they said about a military trial about weather balloon. And there are many conspiracy theories about this, I'm just going to read some more about this Roswell incident for you guys. So here's the thing. Conspiracy theories claim that one or more alien aircraft or spacecraft had crash landed, and that the extraterrestrial occupants had been recovered by the military. In 1994, the United States Air Force changed its stance once again and published a report identifying the crashed object as a nuclear test surveillance balloon from Project Mogul. So later they, identified the crashed object not as a flying disc, but as a nuclear test surveillance balloon for the Project Mogul. Okay, So the second report, which was published by the Air Force in 1997, concluded that the stories of the alien bodies probably stemmed from the test dummies being dropped from high altitude. So as you can see, the United States Air Force has their own opinion, and they don't believe that this was a UFO sighting of some sort, but this was a balloon system which was, being tested for their nuclear test surveillance balloon for their Project Mogul. But many people still believe that this is not true. They changed the statement, because at first they did said in the news that these are flying discs, but then they rejected the possibility. They changed the statement. So there are many conspiracy theories about people that these objects, these flying discs, are being taken and being kept at Area 51. That is also one of the most secure locations on Earth today, and many people believe that to be a location where aliens are being kept, and we can find many evidence about it in Area 51. So the next UFO sighting that we're gonna check out is the Phoenix Lights. Let me take a look. I'm just gonna open the article to give you a brief information about how the media perceives this information. Let me just open it and then let's begin. So here's the article I just opened. It's about Phoenix Lights, which is a UFO sighting which took place on March 13, 1997. So let's read the article. So the Phoenix Lights were a series of widely sighted UFOs observed in the skies over the US states of Arizona, Nevada, and the Mexican state of Sonora on March 13, 1997. The incident involved two distant events. A triangular formation of lights was seen passing over the area, and a series of stationary lights was seen in the Phoenix area. So, the United States Air Force identified the second group of lights as flares dropped by A-10 Watchdog aircraft that were on training exercises at the Barry Goldwater Range in southwest Arizona. So, this was another UFO sighting where we can see lights. I mean, if you look at a lot of UFO sightings which took place, almost all of them have V-type formations or lights in the sky, stationary lights, just like this one, and as you can compare it to other ones. I mean, don't get me wrong that there are not very interesting UFO sightings. I mean, all UFO sightings are not similar. There are distinctions, there are some differences in them, of course, but some of them are so mysterious that even nobody can explain them. Like Roswell incident, where the object crashed. Nobody really knows what actually crashed, except the maybe US forces, maybe Area 51 would know that, and that's the thing, man. So this was also another UFO sighting where we would see lights and stuff, but this does not prove that aliens have visited there, right? So here's what I'm gonna tell you. Most of the UFO sightings that we see are portrayed by the media differently. Like let's say, why in India there are so much less UFO sightings? Because nobody really talks about it. I mean, there are very much UFO sightings in India. If you look at Ladakh and you go into the mountainous regions in India, you will find that there are many types of UFO sightings. I mean, there are a lot of UFO sightings all around the world, but it's all dependent upon the media. It's all dependent upon you who convey the message about the UFO sightings. If you look at the USA, there are many foundations, there are many people who look into the UFO phenomena. I mean, I'm not saying that they are all correct. Many people just do it for fame and stuff, and you cannot really be sure if you can see it with your own eyes. But the case here is that in India, many people do not really believe in UFO sightings, even aliens, because there are not even a single, maybe rarely there's news about UFOs in the media. There's not much information available on the internet and media about the UFO sightings which took place in India. So that is the case. So I hope you guys liked some of these UFO sightings. We discussed about the Kenneth Arnold UFO sighting, the Phoenix Lights, as well as the Roswell incident. So thanks for watching today's podcast. I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, bye.